Hello friends, welcome to Daring Marina YouTube channel. Today we will be discussing about SOLAS requirement for sprinkler system and SOLAS requirement for Hypermist and all. So working of both we will be discussing. So let's discuss about this system in detail. So SOLAS requirement for sprinkler system. It should have fitted in every cargo ship of 2000 gross tonnage and above. So we need to ensure that the sprinkler system should be there in every cargo ship above 2000 gross tonnage and machinery space of 500 metric cube or meter cube in volume and above required additional fixed firefighting system also. Machinery space of 500 meter cube in volume and above required additional fixed firefighting system also. It must have an independent power source or have a connection from the emergency switchboard or seawater pump, alarm and detection system and freshwater pump. In accommodation and service space, the sprinkler shall come into operation within the temperature range from the 690 to 790 degrees Celsius. Okay, except when their high temperature might be expected, the operation temperature may be increased but not more than 3000 degrees Celsius above maximum deck head temperature. So we have to ensure that in accommodation and service space, the sprinkler shall come into operation where the temperature ranges between 690 and 790 degrees Celsius, where high temperature might be expected and operation temperature may be increased but not more than 300 degrees Celsius above maximum deck head temperature. Okay, so here what mentioned is this sprinkler system should be there in every cargo ship over 2000 gross tonnage and machinery space of 500 this 500 meter cube in volume and above require additional fixed firefighting system. There should be independent power source or having connection to the emergency switchboard for the seawater pump, alarm detection and freshwater pump. And in accommodation and service and space and sprinkler shall come into operation with temperature range of 690 to 790 degrees Celsius. Expect the high temperature might be expected where the temperature may be increased by not more than 300 degrees Celsius above the maximum deck head temperature. Okay, and the sprinkler system, it is divided into sections. Each section is permitted to contain not more than 200 head. We have to ensure that the head of the sprinkler system is divided into sections and each section is permitted to contain not more than 200 head, and each sprinkler head is sufficient to cover area of 16 meter cube. Okay, each sprinkler head is sufficient to cover area of 16 meter cube about. Sprinkler head are spaced not more than 4 meter apart and 2 meter from vertical wall. The sprinkler head are spaced not more than 4 meter apart and 2 meter from the vertical wall. Each sprinkler head is capable of 100 liter per minute discharge. Each sprinkler head is capable of discharging 100 liter per minute. Okay, the highest sprinkler head in system, it should not be less than 4.8 bar pressure. You have to ensure that the highest sprinkler head, it should have at least 4.8 bar pressure. Okay, and each section of the sprinkler, it shall be capable of being isolated by one stop valve. Okay, we have to ensure that each section of the sprinkler system, they shall be being capable of isolated by one stop valve. Okay, location of this stop valve outside the associated section or in the cabinet and clearly a permanent indicator. So for each sprinkler we should have stop valve. Then it is properly a fire extinguished, we have to stop it. So this way we need one stop valve. Okay, here mentioned is sprinkler heads are spaced not more than 4 meter apart and 2 meter from the vertical wall, and each sprinkler head is capable of 100 liter per minute discharge, and highest sprinkler head in system should not be less than 4.8 bar pressure, and each section of the sprinkler shall be capable of being isolated by one step valve, and location of stop valve outside of the associated section or the cabinet and clearly or permanently indicated. Okay, a test valve shall be provided for testing the automatic alarm for each section of sprinklers by discharge of water equal to operation of one sprinkler. The test valve of each section shall be situated near the stop valve for that section. We have to ensure that a test valve should be provided for testing the automatic alarm for this proper functioning, for this trueness, and for each section of sprinkler by discharge of water equal to the operation of one sprinkler. The test valve for each section shall be situated near the stop valve for that section. A gauge indicating the pressure the system shall be provided at each section stop valve at a central station. So we have to ensure that a gauge should be indicating the pressure and system shall be provided at each section stop valve at a central station, and a paint locker room shall have sprinkler with designed 5 liter per meter cube. Here the paint locker room, it shall have a sprinkler at designed with a capacity of 5 liter per meter cube. Okay, it should have a connection from fire main and with a non-return valve which will prevent a blowback from the sprinkler system to the fire main. So you have to ensure that this sprinkler system should have a connection with the fire main with a non-return valve, so that it will prevent backflow from the main sprinkler system to the fire main. Okay. Here a test valve shall be provided for testing for the trueness and all. So this automatic alarm from each section of the sprinkler by a discharge of water, it should be equal to the that kind of normal operating condition. That means in within 1 minute able to provide 100 liters of water. So the test valve should be usually provided situated near the stop valve for the section, and a gauge indicating the pressure of the system shall be provided each section stop valve at a central station, and paint locker room shall have sprinkler that have designed with a capacity of 5 liters per minute, and it should have a connection from the fire main with a non-return valve which will prevent backflow from the sprinkler system to the fire main. So now discuss about the automatic sprinkler system. So what is the working principle? Last we studied about SOLAS requirements for an sprinkler system. So now discuss about its working, how this sprinkler system is working. So the system consists of certain components. They are sprinkler heads, control valve, pressure tank, pump and alarm system. The parts are or components are sprinkler head, control valve, pressure tank, pump and alarm system. Okay, the sprinkler fixed firefighting system. Here we can see the sprinkler head is there, and stop valve, and suction drain is there, down system drain, and there is pump for testing valve is there, seawater pump. You will take water from the shore connection or from the fire pump, and there will be pre-release there. There is water from the pressure tank is there. So in that top there will be relief valve, fresh water is there, compressed air and pressure gauge. All is the some of the basic idea of the layout of the sprinkler fixed firefighting system. Okay, the pressurized water is half filled with fresh water. We have to understand that the pressurized water tank should be half filled with fresh water. Then compressed air is connected at the top and keep the tank pressurized with help of a eccentric compressor. So this, you know that half the pressurized water tank, the water tank we will fill half with water, and rest there will be compressed air that is connected from the top and keep the tank pressurized with help of a eccentric compressor. The sprinkler head consists of a quartzoid bulb which bursts when the temperature is beyond limit. So the sprinkler head there will be a bulb. There will senses temperature if it goes beyond the limit, and it will burst. When the sprinkler head bursts, this come into operation, and non-return valve in the lane open and water starts flowing. Okay, when the sprinkler head it bursts, the non-return valve it will come into operation and non-return valve open and starts water comes flowing. Okay, due to this flow there is a drop in pressure in the lane, and the alarm activates for a particular section, indicate fire in the section. Okay, you need to understand that due to this flow there will be a drop in pressure and alarm activate, that indicate fire. So this system is also connected to seawater pump, so they can supply water system in case water in the pressure tank is used up. Okay, here like I mentioned there is pressurized tank is there. If the sprinkler system use the water from the pressure tank, if the water is finished, we can take water from the seawater pump which will supply water to system in case water in the pressure tank is used up. Okay, now Hypermist system fixed firefighting system, they are SOLAS regulation. Last we studied about sprinkler, they are SOLAS regulation. Now Hypermist system in a fixed firefighting, how we use, what are the SOLAS regulation for the Hypermist system. Okay, in cargo ship above 2000 gross tonnage and above, they shall have this Hypermist system, same as sprinkler, and machinery space also above 500 meter cube volume require additional fixed firefighting system. This also same regulation for the sprinkler and Hypermist. Machinery space above 500 meter cube volume, they require an additional fixed firefighting system. They must have an independent power source or having connection from the emergency switchboard. Okay, this Hypermist should have an independent power source or having connection from the emergency switchboard. Okay, the number and arrangement of nozzle shall be such that to ensure effective average distribution of water of at least 5 liter meter square per minute in the space to be protected. So we need to understand that the number and arrangement of nozzle, they shall be such that to ensure efficient average distribution of water at least 5 liter meter square per minute into spaces to be protected, and the precaution shall be taken to prevent the nozzle from being clogged by impurities in water or corrosion of piping, nozzle, valves and pump. Okay, This precaution shall be taken to prevent nozzle from being clogged by impurities in water or corrosion of piping, nozzle, valves, and pump. And they should have manual as well as auto release mechanism. We have to understand that the system should have manual as well as auto release mechanism, and the activation shall give visual and audible alarm in protective space. This activation should give visual and audible alarm in the protective space. Okay. The precaution shall be taken to prevent the nozzle from being clogged by impurities in water or corrosion of piping, nozzle, valves, and pump, and they should have manual as well as auto release mechanism, and this activation should give visual and audible alarm in the protective space. Okay, this is what about the regulation. The last we discussed about the regulations of the hypermist and all. Now we will discuss about the basic working, how this hypermist system on ship work. Okay, the main firefighting principle is here is cooling and smothering. Here hypermist we are using the principle of cooling and smothering. Okay, working means system consists of freshwater tank, freshwater pump, solenoid valve, nozzle control unit. These are the main basic components. Means freshwater tank will be there, freshwater pump, solenoid valve, nozzle control unit. Okay. At the time of fire, freshwater pump takes suction from freshwater tank to sprinkler system at high pressure. We need to understand that during the time of fire, freshwater pump will take suction from the freshwater tank to sprinkler system at high pressure. So each area is separated by a isolating valve which will operate during fire. Yes, because it will activate when the fire is there. The sprinkler will activate, or we will give extinguish fire on in a isolated way in a separate on a specialized area only. So how to activate this hypermist system is this can be done by three methods. That means automatic first for activating from local panel or emergency starting. Automatic means the system will start automatically when the two detectors, mainly flame and smoke detector, will get if it get activated. This hypermist system will get activated automatically. From the local panel means local control panel, there will be push switch, so we can provide to start it manually, so it will work. Then emergency means start the pump manually and then manually open the solenoid valve. Then also this hypermist system will get activated. Three methods are there: automatic, activating from local panel, emergency starting. Automatic means system will start automatically when the two detectors, flame or smoke, will get activated. And activating from local panel means there is a push switch provided to start it manually. Emergency starting means start the pump manually and then manually open the solenoid valve. Okay. The most common area covered by watermist system are incinerator room, auxiliary boiler room, auxiliary generator, main engine, cylinder head platform, purifier room, IG, that means inert gas generator room, steering gear room. These are all hypermist system that is can be situated. Thank you.